Hello, welcome to another draft. Today we're drafting Hour of Devastation and Amoket. And this pack actually has a lot of interesting choices. So there's Ronus' Last Stand, which I've never played with, but 2 mana for a 5/4 seems pretty good. Albeit you have the drawback that your lands don't untap. We have both Open Fire and Puncturing Blow, which two pretty strong removal spells. I think I would take Open Fire first. We have Resolute Survivors in red-white, which is, one of the better creatures. Whenever you exert, it drains 1. And aside from that, there's not much else. Maybe like a desert. Mummy Paramount's good in the right deck. I think I just want to try Ronus' Last Stand. If I had played with this card and had evaluated it, I'm sure it's probably worse than like a Open Fire, but there's two reasons why I'm taking this. First, I want to see if it's good. And second, there's kind of some other good red cards going on, but this is the only green card that I'm going to be passing that's relatively playable. So I think given those two options, I'm more likely to take this. And now that I took this, I'm actually quite glad because we have my favorite card, Sifter Worm. Sifter Worm's great if you can cast it and get up to enough mana. Also, there's another Open Fire. So if I take this Sifter Worm, I'm cutting green pretty hard. And the person on my left is going to see like a single Frilled Sandwalla in green. And so, there might be a fight over red that I don't really want to get involved in. But just taking Sifter Worm's pretty strong. Mirage Mirror is also very good, actually. I think it's better in Sealed, where there's more bombs to copy. But in Draft, it's still pretty good. It just becomes 2 mana to get the best creature on the board. Like, if your opponent has a Sifter Worm, you use Mirage Mirror to copy it. Now you have a 7/7 for 2 mana. So it's pretty strong, but we're going to take this card. Be said to wheel or pass the red, but now we're likely to stay out of red and just try and take as much green as we can, and then stay open for later packs. So here, wow, some pretty good cards. Refuse to Cooperate seems not great. It's like 4 mana, do 4 damage. That's not good. Chandra's and Lily on his defeat, pretty good sideboard cards. I think I'm just going to take the Sharpshooters. Staying in green, this card's pretty good. 5 mana for a 4/4 Vigilance Reach. Strong Body just does whatever you need. Other good cards, probably Survivor's Encampment I might take. But other than that, this pack's pretty unexciting. So I hope to wheel this, and maybe I'll take one of these defeats from my sideboard if it comes back around. Wow, red just keeps flowing. So maybe I'm getting cut in green from the right as well, because there's a Paincaster, a Blur of Blades, Harrier Naga. Harrier Naga's not red. I don't know why I said that. I was actually thinking about this Aerial Guide. Pretty late for one of the stronger uncommons. And it's between that and Harrier Naga. And so Harrier Naga is like kind of medium, and I've seen it wheel pretty late. Whereas Aerial Guide is just, especially in green-blue, if you can give Sifter Worm flying, your opponent is just almost dead. So although I think Harrier Naga is the safer pick, at this point I can now start cutting blue as well. Harrier Naga is not a big signal, and this card I think is just way better than, a pretty medium filler card. Like 3/3 for 3 is strong, but this card can just break board stalls on its own. Here we're probably taking the Hippo. Still seeing some pretty good white and red, but hopefully we're going to get rewarded in pack 2 and see just green and blue. So yeah, it looks like green and blue are kind of drying up. So the end of this pack might be rough for us, but Rampaging Hippo I think is still pretty good. 6 mana, 5/6 trample is very large, and cycling lets you, discard it when you're looking for lands or other spells. But it might not be great seeing this much red and white open late in the packs, but we're taking the Hippo. Ooh, okay. I like this pack. So Reason to Believe, blue Scry, and then you can get a creature. So it's like 6 mana. I don't think that's very good, even though it is a rare. You just have to look past that. We have Countervailing Winds as a counterspell. Not very good in the green decks because there's not many ways to put cards in your graveyard. We can just grab another Hippo, which might be the play, or get the Desert. And the Desert allows us to turn on like Unquenchable Thirsts and play more lands. But I think we're not even sure that we're blue. Taking Hippo gives us like a really strong... We have almost as much top end as we want after taking this. And then we're still open to playing other colors besides this aerial guide. So I like that play. And we get rewarded here because we now can just take a green desert, which is, I think, better in our deck. Although we would play either one, but green desert is perfect here. Missing out on countervailing winds. This is defeat, which I think is the worst of the defeats in like a feral prowler or the blue desert, but green desert's great. So here, there's an Aven Reed Stalker, which is just like a medium flyer. There's an Unsummon, which can be good in the right matchup. And a Feral Prowler, which I think I might play in a deck with as much top end as this. It just lets you survive from like a lot of early attackers into the late game and, you know, cast your 6-drops. So Feral Prowler's the pick. Doom Diviner, it's not a good card. I just like having 2-drops. This one cycles, draws you a card. So not the most exciting play, but wow. Okay, Resolute Survivor's tabled. I'm going to take Beneath the Sands because this deck could use some ramp. And cycling when it's not relevant is pretty good. But I can't believe this card tabled. Red-white seems open, but so does green. Yeah, so our Sandwalla came around, which I will play. This card's actually pretty decent. Just a 1-mana 1/1 that you can pump. Oftentimes it just hits for 1 every turn, but if you have extra mana flying around, this is pretty strong. I also probably would play Tragic Lesson in this type of deck, but those tend to come around and... Still don't know if I'm in green or blue. Here we're just gonna take... Well, let's see. Do I want the Riverwinder if I even end up in blue? Or is just like a Chandra's Defeat better in the sideboard? I think this is better. Riverwinder I'm not too impressed with. And Chandra's Defeat, if I end up in red, it's just a really strong card. So it seems like a lot of people just stayed out of red. Because they saw the same thing I was seeing, is that the packs were very heavy red. Life goes on. Okay. I actually like this card. I don't think it's good in this deck, but in general, I like it's just 3 mana for like a daze in the early game, and in the late game it just becomes a hard counter if you have a deck built around it. We do not. Okay, that's another reason to believe, which is not that great. But now we get a choice between Aerial Guide, Ominous Sphinx, and Hope Tender. And I guess Ronus is Stalwart. So reason to take Aerial Guide. We're unlikely to see many other cards like it, and in the blue-green deck I think this is one of the best things you can be doing, because flying fatties is like really hard for opponents to deal with. It can break stall, so you can play cards like Feral Prowler, block all of their early shenanigans, and then, you know, landed Hippo, Aerial Guide, and start just smashing for 5 flying in the air. I think that's enough better than Ominous Sphinx, also given that it's only a single blue, that I'll probably be taking this over the Sphinx. In a vacuum, I think the Sphinx is a better card, but we're very heavy green. And I think, although these are some of the premium green 2-drops, I think I want this Aerial Guide. It just combos so well with all the cards in our deck right now. So we're going to take this and hope to wheel one of these. So out of this pack, we have a Vizier, the Anointed, which can be good. We don't have any Eternalize yet, and that's more of a blue thing. So if we want to start moving heavier into blue, we can take him. Or we could just take an Oasis Ritualist, which I think is what we want to take. This allows us to splash blue easier, ramps us up to 6 and 7 quite easily. If you go turn 4 Ritualist, you can exert it and play a Sifter Worm on turn 5, which is really hard for your opponent to come back from. So I think I'm going to take this. Even though it's pretty medium, it's a really good role filler in this type of deck. And hope to wheel like the Desert or maybe the Vizier, but unlikely. But we're going to take this card. Okay, this pack we have another Feral Prowler, a Puncturing Blow, which is interesting. I guess my opponents to the left also just kind of passed red. Another Resolute Survivors, so red-white. We could have had a pretty strong red-white deck in hindsight, because Resolute Survivors, Avenger, Puncturing Blow, all very good cards. Feral Prowler in green, Tragic Lesson in blue. I think Feral Prowler is probably better than Tragic Lesson right now, and just gets us to a very strong late game, so I'm going to take him. Maybe we'll wheel one of these cards later on. Okay, so here we have a Quarry Beetle, which is a 5 mana 4/5 and can sometimes ramp you. Appeal to Authority can be good. I think it's better in like low to the ground aggro decks. Ours is like pretty top heavy with these Hippos and the Sifter Worm. So it's not as exciting with like a Feral Prowler. So I think for me it's between this Quarry Beetle and another Rampaging Hippo. And so this, we're paying 1 more mana for an extra +1/+1, and it has Trample. So I think that's strong enough. We could just keep taking Hippos. This also cycles if we don't need it. So I think the Hippo's strong enough, we're gonna play it here. Wow, okay. Overcome might be good in this deck. +2/+2 and Trample. We only have 11, but we can just keep taking more creatures. We can now just pick up as many Frilled Sin Walls as we can get. Cards like Sidewinder Naga become a lot better. This card's just such a good build around. Yeah, so we can take the Sandwalla now. And our deck's shaping up to be pretty sweet here. Okay, so Vizier, this is a different Vizier. Went around Bitterbow Sharpshooters, but actually I think I'm going to take this Harrier Naga now. We need some earlier plays with all these like Hippos. We have enough top end. And, 3 mana for a 3/3 is okay. I don't need another Hippo, but I'll take another Desert. I don't think Appeal to Authority is good. I haven't actually played with this card, but if we don't have the white for the Aftermath, just green for +X/+X and Trample, where it's a sorcery, I don't think is better than just a cycling Desert. Maybe we can pick up that Sidewinder Naga later on. Wow, Hope Tender, okay. That card's very good in this deck. Just a 2-mana 2/2. Attacks, combo with Overcome because it's a creature, and then lets us get to a pretty strong late game. So very happy with that pickup. Take another Desert, so we can play quite a few lands. Tragic Lesson, unlikely to play now, but maybe we will. Okay, so here's an interesting pick. We have Frilled Sandwalla versus Quarry Beetle. Sandwalla, I think, is a better combo with Overcome, but Quarry Beetle's just so big. And it ramps us better with the Desert, so I'm going to take the Quarry Beetle. Unsummon could be a nice tempo play. Not sure if we're going to play it. We're actually almost mono green. We stole 2 of the best blue uncommons, but other than that, we're pretty green heavy. Really excited to try out this Overcome. I've actually never drafted it. I don't think I've seen it in a pack, but I think if you've watched my videos, you'll find out if I'm wrong or not. So Dusk Till Dawn, very good against us, but we're not going to take that. So I think for us we have Essence Scatter, Naga Vitalist, and Evolving Wilds. And given that we have a lot of 5 and 6, I'm just going to take the Vitalist. Also pretty good with Overcome, can swing for 3. And Essence Scatter is good, but we just want to be playing spells every turn. We don't want to be holding back mana, so I'm pretty happy about this Naga Vitalist. Wow, foil Insult to Injury. This pack is insane in red. Holy cow. Insult to Injury I think is one of the best rares for limited in this set. Just 6 mana, deal 4 to something, 4 to an opponent, and all of your stuff does double damage. That's so much better than like Overcome. So whoever is in red, I think, really wish I had been taking red cards, but there's no way I would have known I'd open this insane of a pack. For us, I don't think we're going to go into red. Whoa. Do we really want to just take an Initiate's Companion? That's kind of medium. I mean, it's pretty good with Aerial Guide, good with Overcome. And it's either that or like a Pouncing Cheetah or River Serpent, but I don't think I want Open into Wonder. We want to minimize our blue as much as possible, so I guess I'll take the Companion. Wow, these packs are not good for us. And it's not like we're getting cut, it's just we're not opening any cards in our colors. So Hapatra is very good. We don't have any -1/-1 spell or ability, so it's just kind of like a 2-mana 2/2 that, if it hits them, has some upside. Honed Kopesh might be our pick, as sad as it is. We're not really into white enough to play a Gustwalker. And yeah, this is just a lot of white. So I don't know if we're going to play this, but I don't think we're going to play Benefaction of Ronus. So we'll just take the Khopesh. Wow, another really bad pack for us. So Labyrinth Guardian, I think, is the strongest card in our colors. Alternatively, we can just take a Pouncing Cheetah, but I think I'm going to take the Guardian. Probably will play it. It's a pretty decent 2-drop. Wow, okay. We're just getting crushed in these packs. Nothing in our colors. I don't think this is a Slitherblade deck. I'm probably just going to take Cradle of the Accursed. Enough better than Pouncing Cheetah, and I think our mana is good enough to support this. Okay, here we go. So now we have a choice between Watchful Naga and Shimmerscale Drake. I think I like the Naga. Pretty good with Aerial Guide, good with Overcome, and it's just an early play. We have a lot of 5s and 6s, and again, trying to limit the amount of blue I'm playing, so Naga's pretty strong in that situation. Do I want to play a Gift of Paradise? This ramps me up to my bigger spells. I'm not going to be playing anything else in this pack, so I might as well take it. Not sure if I'm going to be playing this card, though. Okay. Here's some more cards. So here's deciding between Quarry Hauler, which is just a 4-mana 4/3, and a Hieroglyphic Illumination. Illumination's very good in the like blue-green ramp style deck. Let's see. We have Hope Tender, Ronus' Last Stand, Companion. I think we might just transition into an aggro. Quarry Hauler does hit pretty hard. 4 Power is pretty relevant. So I'm going to take that. Even like Quarry Hauler plus Aerial Guide just hits so hard in the air. So we wield the Essence Scatter, which means people aren't trying to take our colors, they just weren't opened in this pack. Which is kind of disappointing. But our deck, I think, is strong enough to at least go 2-1. Probably not playing this Khopesh unless we see a lot of creatures where 4 toughness matters. Yeah, nobody's in our colors. Maybe Maybe I'll take an Illusory Wrappings if my opponent's playing like a very similar deck. Yeah, nobody's in our colors. But we just the cards in our colors were not opened. Okay, so I think I don't want Essence Scatter in the main deck. Again, trying to limit the amount of blue I'm playing. We have 24 playables. I think I want to go up to 17 lands with 3 deserts. It's pretty unlikely that we flood out. Actually 4, because Cradle also is kind of like a spell. So cutting these. I like the 2 Sandwallas. Naga Vitalist, Companion. Companion is okay. Double Feral Prowler is fine. I still like Beneath the Sands. These cards are good. These cards are good. Okay, so I think I'm deciding between cutting a Feral Prowler and the Labyrinth Guardian. Because, well, let's see how the curve looks. Group creatures separately. This is a creature. This is a thing I would do on 3. Triple Hippo. Maybe I cut a Hippo? No. Or wait. 22. Oh, this is 17 lands. And Gift of Paradise, I think it's just worse than Beneath the Sand. And I already have some ramp with Naga Vitalist, Oasis Ritualist to get me up to 6 and 7. That I think that's okay. And Quarry Beetle, I guess, is kind of ramp. Also, Quarry Beetle's pretty good with Cradle of the Accursed. So I guess I'm just going to run it like this. I'm going to play definitely more than 1 island. Maybe 4? 4 islands for 2 Aerial Guides. And I can get it with Beneath the Sands. Yeah, so 4 islands. I can get islands with Beneath the Sands, so that's 5 blue sources. 6 blue sources for 2 Aerial Guides, which are really mostly good in the late game anyway. And that lets me maximize the amount of time I can cast Ronus' Last Stand on 2. Oh, That's where the last card went. It was this guy, Labyrinth Guardian. I think I'm going to play him over the Feral Prowler. We seem a bit more aggressive than I thought before. And I think I'm still just going to stick with the 4 islands. That gives me 6 blue sources. And I can side in Feral Prowler if my opponent's very aggressive. Yeah, that seems good. Alright, see you guys round 1.